is Crystal and I am back again, and I am coming to you with a video on hair growth. Now, I always get a lot of questions about hair growth. I guess because I went natural and I had chopped off my hair, and now it is here where it is as you see today. This is year three or 3.5, I believe. So I have actually surpassed what my hair was previously to my relaxer, and I guess it's been asked of me how I've attained my length. Now, I never had a problem with relaxer. I stayed permed up. I had no problem with it. It never broke my hair, never did it. I just decided one day I was going to go natural. That's just pretty much how the story went. Now, regardless of natural or relaxed or texlaxed or anything like that, we all can follow the same regimen. It has nothing to do with the fact that you're relaxed or you're natural. Just the styling elements probably the most different. So I have compiled my list of my 12 top tips for hair growth, and I'll just go in a little detail here and there. I mean, this isn't gospel or anything, but this is what I have done and what I find works. Guys, I didn't want a big chop, but I got conflicted in terms of having the two different hair textures, and I just went ahead and just cut it off. That's just pretty much the story. I don't have any glamorous story of how it happened or sufferation, nothing like that. Anyway, enough talking. I'm gonna go into my hair growth tips. Alright, so tip 1. I say to people all the time that ask me this, I am no specialist on hair growth. I have no specialty. I rarely have damaged hair. But examine your current issue with your hair. Is your hair dry? Is your hair brittle? Do you have thin edges? Do you have damaged hair? And then research. Research. I can sit here and tell you what I've done and what helps me, but it might not always help you. I'm sticking with my basic guidelines, but I've never had these issues, so I can't really sit and tell people what they should do because I've never had the. So examine what the issue is and then move accordingly. Whether it be heat damage, damage from relaxer, damage from just bad care, that is usually the culprit when they're struggling to grow hair or want to go on to a healthy journey. Now, I say if you have damaged hair and you have like split ends, and you can't maintain your growth, I mean, that's really the issue. Most people can't maintain their length, and it usually comes from split ends or damaged hair. So cut it. Don't hold on to like 2 inches of hair. It doesn't make sense. Cut it. Do whatever you do, but cut it. Dead ends, dead hair ends will not help you see the growth that keeps happening from your scalp. And I tell people this, if it's damaged, cut it. It will grow back. You won't miss the hair. Cut it. You won't even notice. 2 seconds later, it's going to be back. It's going to be back. Just cut it. My third tip is to cleanse your hair frequent. Now, I wouldn't think I'd have to tell adults that or people with young kids, but some women don't like to cleanse their hair. I don't know what it is. They cleanse your hair. Your hair builds up with the dirt and the grime of the city and the air and the gym and sweat and your bed and your pillows and everything like that. Your hair needs to be cleansed. H2O is the best free form of product you can use for your hair, and to get the impurities and the dirt out really is nourish your hair. Water and products is going to be the nutrients you put back in your hair, so cleanse it once a week at least. I mean, once a week should be good for the average, but wash your hair. Is make good product selections. Now, depending on the state of your hair and again the issue that you have, or if you feel like you have dry hair, brittle hair, whatever, that is going to be the products you're going to steer to. So I get asked, what products are you using, girl? What you using? I don't have damaged hair. I don't have brittle hair, but I know it gets dry. I like it to be moist. I have color in my hair. I know certain things about my hair, so that's what I pick accordingly. So if you have brittle hair, you might need something with a little more protein in it. If you have dry hair, you're probably going to need something that has H2O as the first ingredient with it that keeps your hair moist. And good ingredients also, as much as we want to deny it, will help your hair. So again, the examples I gave were sulfate free. Sulfates strip your hair of their natural oils, and if you have dry hair, you don't want it to be stripped. You want something moisturizing. So get something that's moisturizing. Conditioners, again, they need to be very nourishing. I've never done a protein treatment ever, actually, not even once. I've looked at stuff and thought, yeah, I'm gonna try that, I'm gonna start blending stuff, but it never happened. I never blended nothing. I didn't do nothing. I've just never done a protein treatment ever. And this is why I'm saying you can't really completely rely on information from somebody, because if they've never had that, they can't speak to you on what you should do. So you're gonna have to do a little research, and I find a lot of people aren't diligent with actually getting the information for what they need. They just want to ask, and that's not always the best way. I mean, you could get general guidelines. Also, the biggest thing you need to do is nourish your ends. The ends of your hair is the oldest hair on your head, which is the most delicate hair on your head. And for you to see growth, for you to maintain growth, you have to have great ends. So what I do is I pay attention to my ends. So when I'm conditioning my hair, I don't sit there and the scalp isn't dry. It's the end. So when I'm conditioning my ends, I pay real attention to the ends. When I'm sealing, which is putting oil on the ends of your hair, that's where I pay attention to. Deep condition frequently. I get asked all the time, what did you do? I did nothing out of the ordinary. I deep condition every week, every single week for the longest time. I'm slacking, as I said in my last video, getting back into it because my hair was springy, it was bouncy, it had the shine and the volume that I was looking for when I deep conditioned. And when I stopped, that's when I see my hair started to get stringy in places and it wasn't looking good. And I have color treated hair, so I'm crazy essentially. If you have color treated hair, you need to step up your regimen by 10. Damaged hair, don't even think about coloring. Get a wig, get a weave if you need some color, but don't even think about it, because if you have damaged hair, you are just going to regret it. It's just not going to work out for you. You need to have healthy hair if you're considering to even color your hair. That's a big tip right there. When I'm deep conditioning, it's nourishing your hair, it's putting the moisture back in your hair that was lost from shampooing, etc. What I do usually is I'll leave it in for a minimum 30 minutes, and actually I can't tell you the last time I've even left it in that short. I leave it in overnight a lot of the time because that's just what I like, or I'll do housework in between and leave it in. But just leave it in for a while, let it penetrate your actual hair, right? So that's the number one. Detangling is my number 7 tip. Now, I have a lot of hair. I'm sure I don't even have to say it, but I have a lot of hair. My hair is very thick. I hate detangling. I hate it, but it's crucial because the hair gets matted and knotted and whatever. Especially being natural, I didn't have, of course, that problem as much when I was relaxed, although when there was new growth coming in, I did. So detangling is something that is crucial. Taking your time, starting from the bottom and working your way up with detangling is crucial. Detangling, wide tooth comb is your friend. It's not going to be as tedious, although with me, because my hair is thick, it is. Detangle, 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 and be gentle. If you don't have time to deal with your hair, just don't do your hair. You need to give yourself a little time to do it so you're not ripping out strands of hair. Select a good leave-in conditioner and oils to hydrate your hair. Now, I brought some examples and I've showed them before. The conditioner I'm using right now is Oyin Handmade's Honey Hemp, and I like the ingredient listing in it. Again, look for something that starts off with water. Steer away from mineral oil. So a good leave-in conditioner, something that's going to hydrate your hair, something you can put in your hair every couple days. Oils are great I'm using my Manoi oil. Oh, my hair is everywhere. My Manoi oil, which is a blend of coconut oil, terra flower, sorry, and vitamin E and some other stuff in it. I love this, great. I also use argan oil, especially out of the shower. I find it helps your hair dry a little quicker, and it's very nourishing, and it has a lot of benefits. Mine's running out. This is by Josie Maran. I've put it in other videos, so you can always check that out. Other great oils that are inexpensive are coconut oil, olive oil, but there's lots of oils that you can use on your hair that are great between deep conditioning or leaving them in on your ends after you've washed. Another thing is to limit your heat. Now, I know this is hard for people, especially if you're Texlax, especially if you're relaxed. Now, I'm not one of these people that's going to say don't use it, or I only do heat once a year or twice a year. I don't do that. I use heat when I feel like using heat. But I say, every day, if you're doing it every day, maybe you should try twice a week. Every day, just limit it and cut it down. If you can air dry your hair instead of using the blow dryer, better. The one you sit under, the hair dryer you sit under, a little better. It doesn't, it's not as harsh. If you can just blow dry, maybe not flat iron, okay. Like, there's a lot of different things you should do, but heat is very damaging for a lot of people, and that's where a lot of the split ends and damage come in. So limiting your heat is also a very good tip. Protective styles are good. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that big on it. I don't know. I'm like a fail natural. Like, I'm not good at protective styles. People do buns and braid outs and twist outs. I'm doing it now because winter's here a little early in Canada, so I'm trying to braid up my hair like Snoop Dogg in the night and come out with this, although it gets bigger by the hour. I'm trying to do that, but buns are good, braids are good, twists are good. Any protective style that keeps your hair away from the elements, especially during winter, is very good. Also, of course, use like a silk bonnet or a silk scarf or anything like that to protect your hair, and it won't dry out your hair. Also good, but most people know that stuff, so that's good. Also, protective styles are weaves and wigs and ponytails too, but if you're gonna wear weave all the time, you can't really nourish your hair. You can't really do much for your hair. So, I mean, wearing a wig, at least you could take it off in the night and then do your thing. Or if you wear weaves, taking it out here and there and giving your hair a rest, I mean, that's a lot of tension on the hair. I was a weave wearer. It's a lot of tension on the hair. You can't get to your hair. So, I mean, just wearing it religiously, you're probably not gonna benefit from anything I've said. Wearing it here and there and then taking care of it in between, the best policy, I would say. And braids are good, but they create a lot of tension on your hair. So if you're wearing like Janet Jackson braids for like 7 months out of the year, well, the big heavy braids probably aren't going to do much for the front of your hair or your edges. It's not going to help. So these tips are for people that are really serious and they're saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to take care of my hair X amount of times out of the year or the week or whatever. Yeah. Also, 11, if your hair is very damaged, you may want to even just seek professional. Hairdressers are going to nourish your hair back. I have my trusted hairdresser since I was about 14, and she's actually supported the fact that I went natural, but I still go to her. I still flat iron my hair. I still go get my hair trimmed. If I'm gonna get my color, I go to her. So I haven't totally stopped going to her, but she is gonna help me. So when I have split ends, she's like, it's time for a trim, Crystal. If it's damaged, she's like, what are you doing to your hair, Crystal? If if it's in shambles, she's gonna help you. Going to the hairdresser, at least to start off your journey, might be a good idea, but you do need to find a trusting hairdresser. All of them are not created equal, but that might be a good way to even start if you're not sure. My last tip is tips that I have in terms of hair growth. Now, if there's any tips that you recommend that can be shared, don't hide them, share them, Let us know. If you have any comments, any questions, any feedback, leave that below. Thank you once again for watching my video. I hope you have a good day, and please remember, of course, to rate and subscribe. Have a very good day. Bye.